Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel. And I have a very special video today. This is not the Real Hernando podcast. This is not the Rhythm Section podcast, but I am using the studio today to create some special content for my good friend here, Angee Montgomery. She is an artist here in Hernando. She has her own studio. Up until recently, she was an instructor or an art teacher for private lessons, right? And paintings for sale. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to introduce you to Angee. We're going to get to know each other a little bit and talk, so you get to know her. And then we have paintings that we're going to show off. We got a painting set to my left here with its own camera, so we're going to edit them in as we go, as Angee tells the story behind these. And I'm just going to sit here and act like I know what I'm doing and ask questions. So, Angee, thanks for being here and thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Derrick. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk about painting.
Yeah. You know, this is an idea I had as soon as I knew that the studio is operating, and I just want to come in here and use it. Yes. Right. Yeah. And build my own portfolio, because in a way, producing content like this is sort of my art, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to do this for you and help you out, you know, and then also gives me a chance to play with my toys.
Yep, I got it. I'm really excited.
So, okay. So, gosh, let's talk about where you're from.
Okay.
Let's start there.
I'm from Mississippi. I grew up outside of Sardis, which is not too far from here. And, yeah.
So I've swam at that lake a few times. Lake. Yeah, a long time ago. But so did you study art in school?
I did. One of my students recently asked me when I felt like I was an artist, because she said, I just don't feel like an artist yet. I'm not an artist yet. When did you feel like you were an artist? And for me, it was 5 years old.
Okay.
I think I declared to my grandmother and my mom and my dad that I was an artist at 5. So it's been a part of my identity since I was very young. Mm-hmm. And I did end up going to school for art after I went to school for a lot of other things, because life gets in the way. And
you feel like you have to have that backup plan, right? So you go to school, or did you even take did you take business type classes as a way to?
I did not. I always wanted to go to art school, but my parents didn't want me to go to art school because I had a kid pretty young. Mm-hmm. So they begged me at graduation, "Don't do it, Angee. Find something else."
Yeah.
So I went into science. Actually, I almost got a degree in sonography.
What's that?
It's doing ultrasounds. So looking.
Oh, wow.
Taking pictures, looking into the body with
interesting. Yeah. That's definitely different than what you do.
You would think, but I think art and science are very closely related.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think now more than ever, like I just said earlier, I'm finally finding my art in a way. I'm like, oh, I like building things in a different way. I do like making content, but in my way, how I envision things, just like this, you know. But I am left brain to the tilt too. Like my brain is rows and columns, ones and zeros, you know?
Yeah. But it's still the same. It's still the same. Even, you know, with artwork, I'm trying to get at something that's some sort of common thread between all of us humans, right? The way we live here. And you're doing the same thing. Connecting
really
with
trying
people.
To connect with people. I'm using this for community in a lot of different ways, you know, which is nice. It's fulfilling,
right?
You know. Well, look, okay, I don't want to keep people waiting, so I think as we show paintings through that, we're going to get to know more of you too through that journey here. So before we get to paintings, let's talk about sculptures. You brought some sculptures, examples of sculptures in, and that's where you wanted to start. So at this point, I'm going to let you kind of run the show. You show what you want. I'll ask questions, and then we'll move to the next thing when you're ready.
Okay, sounds good. So just to give a little context for what I do now, when I was in high school, I learned how to paint.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first thing I learned how to do. I was always very interested in drawing. But once I got to college, I felt like, okay, I know how to do that. I was like a kid in a candy store, and I just wanted to try out everything else. So I actually ended up getting a degree in sculpture. And all of the work that I did in college was form-based.
Okay.
So I just brought a couple. The first two I want to look at are these eggs. Yeah, so eggs and lips. And it doesn't matter how long you've been an artist. I think you still make the same kind of stuff that you did when you were a kid, even once you get older. Mm-hmm. You'll try out different things, but eventually you just keep cycling around these same subjects and same ideas because there's something in there that you want to get out. Mm-hmm. And for me, I was always interested in just the body and using different elements that I saw around me to try to tell stories.
Okay. So what's the story here?
So I made a ton of these. The bottom ones they're ceramic, they're eggs. And I was always really interested in this egg form. For me, I think I cycled between a lot of feminine aspects and bodily aspects and then domestic things because I went from childhood straight to motherhood. There was never an in-between phase to try to figure out who I was or travel or...
You had to grow up immediately. But yeah, you skipped over the...
I did, but at the same time, I had a big imagination. And then I got to relive that childhood imaginative stage with my daughter when she was younger. So even my 20s I was a mom, right? And she was a playful little girl with a big imagination too. So we played a lot.
That's nice. You had that in common.
Yeah. So the eggs, I think eggs are really interesting. They've been used a lot in art. They symbolize new beginnings.
Yeah.
They're also kind of like creative fire points. They're dormant ideas until you set something into motion.
Man, that's deep. You're taking us deep. It's just cool to hear the inside of an artist's brain like that. Because you and I have hung out quite a few times by this point, and you're going deeper than normal. It's cool. I'm really getting a glimpse of how this works. But
they're also fun if you're a gamer, right? Finding an Easter egg in a game, or if you have chickens, like the whole surprise of, oh my gosh, she laid today.
I thought the rabbits did that.
No, the chickens.
So the chickens do the Easter eggs too?
Yes, they do. Damn. Yeah, exactly.
All this time. So
yeah, I like to use forms that have some sort of a history. Not that I'm trying to find their symbolic meaning according to any one thing. I'm trying to think about how they relate to my life or other people's lives or how they've been used so far in the world. So the eggs, I don't have them. I gave them all away. And my whole plan was I'll go on an Easter egg hunt later in life and reconnect with the people I gave the art to.
That's funny.